Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the second episode of the PWP, the Pro Wrestling Podcast, produced by Space City Sports Talk. I'm the host, Marco Alvarado, alongside today's co-host,
Corben Carter-Dixon here, and I have to ask this one question, Mar. Are you ready?
Oh, I'm ready. The question is, are you ready?
Indeed.
Because if it was up to me, I'm waiting for this rocket ship to launch into space and to land on the planet that we know of pro wrestling. And that's what we're here to do. Talk about good old-fashioned professional wrestling.
And prepare for everything, people, because this is about to be a slobber knocker.
So sit back, relax, and let's get into it. Corb, where should we start? Should we start with AEW, or should we start with the most relevant wrestling company in the world at the moment that's on fire, the E?
God honest truth, the E is where we really need to begin. That's where I'm going to actually talk my most stuff, really.
So where do we begin? Do we start at the Raw edition of Day 1? Or do we start off with New Year's Revolution on SmackDown? Or should we just hit the career highlights of what's been going on?
Let's really just get to the nitty gritty of things, because I feel like with the way that storylines are going right now, I feel like people have really turned their heads.
Turned their heads indeed, and on top of that, scandals outside of the ring,
which we knew over many years that was coming.
That is playing a big part into why WWE is producing great content at the moment. We have a whole new yes movement from 2014 up to now. Hashtag We Want Cody has been trending for over 72 hours now since Friday Night SmackDown last aired.
But really for the last 2 weeks.
We are going to dive into it. Mm-hmm. But let's catch everybody up to speed. Day 1, the Raw edition of Day 1, a very familiar face within the business, a former champion, popped his head at a San Diego Raw, and that was the People's Champ, The Rock. The Rock made his presence known, and he cut a promo on Jinder Mahal. Then he went on to say, "I'm hungry. I'm gonna go eat a meal."
Should I sit at
a booth?
The booth? Should I sit at
the bar?
Should I sit at
the head of the table? And whenever the place popped, Now, mind you, we knew going into this, before The Rock even showed his face, we knew Cody Rhodes was going to have a big mania this year.
Which is what I said is another creation of his father's storyline of Hard Times. Hard Times kind of just got a little bit harder.
Indeed, they did. Fast forward to the Rumble.
Going into that match, actually, before it even happened, I had already said expect CM Punk and Cody Rhodes to be the last two in the Rumble.
Yeah.
Which did play into my hands, actually. Some people wanted CM Punk to win, but to be honest, this does play a little bit more into the Hard Times storyline with Cody, because I feel like it's still his match to win, because the bottom line is that it's to finish his story.
100%.
In which Cody did win the Royal Rumble. By the way, back-to-back Royal Rumbles.
The first time since Stone Cold Steve Austin in 97-98.
Exactly. And now things just took a twisted turn, in which we already suspected that he wanted Roman, because we saw him pointing, right into him in the stands and stuff like that.
After he did a Bullet Club tribute.
Yeah, did a Bullet Club tribute,
which I thought was so cool.
Which I do have that backpack still, by the way. And here comes The Rock. Last Friday on SmackDown, actually. And then, most importantly, the other thing that kind of got messed over is the fact that CM Punk suffered an injury which will keep him out of WrestleMania this year.
And I'm glad you brought that up, because I have a whole thing on that which I will get into, but continue.
Originally, after that, I'll be honest, even if Cody had won the Royal Rumble, I still think CM Punk would have got his main event at WrestleMania, in which really I wanted him to challenge Seth Rollins through Elimination Chamber match and everything, and then just go on to be the number one contender for it. Unfortunately, that's not going to happen. And from what CM Punk said after addressing the injury and stuff, he said, "I'm a Chicago Cubs fan, and like we always say, there's always next year."
There is always next year. There is. Is it my time to shine now?
Go ahead.
So here's what we got going on, ladies and gentlemen. And again, a lot has happened since the Day 1 episode of Monday Night Raw all the way up to this point. We have Seth freaking Rollins, as I should say, banged up his knee, injured.
Meniscus.
And he's pushing the recovery time.
And MCL.
He's going to drop the belt at Mania. Now, the original plan was either CM Punk to win the Rumble
or win Elimination Chamber.
Exactly. But unfortunately, that's a no-go. Because you can't have two crippled people wrestling for a world championship. Which made perfect sense at the time. That would have been a sick co-main event. Or probably a main event for one of the nights.
Yeah.
But, I mean, this is before Rock was appointed to board of directors for TKO. So, that's one thing. The Rollins injury plays an effect. CM Punk injury plays an effect as well.
To be honest, this is WrestleMania 33 all over again.
And here we are.
For people who actually forgot, back at WrestleMania 30, leading into WrestleMania 33, Seth Rollins was going against Triple H until Samoa Joe had knocked him out of nowhere, and then he accidentally partially tore a ligament in his knee, and he also had to do a quick rehab leading into that match.
So because of the stuff that's happened this past week, WWE going to Netflix next year, $5 billion deal over the course of 10 years, I believe that was, which is insane.
I'm just going to enjoy my whole last year of Peacock, basically.
And then The Rock being appointed to TKO, board of directors the next day. The Vince McMahon stuff that came out. Now, I'm not going to dive in too deep on what he did and what he's being accused of doing, but apparently they got the feds involved, dude, and it's a bad look.
I'll be honest. We love Vince and all the other stuff of what he's created, but let's be real here, Marco. We knew this stuff was coming eventually.
Yeah, that's true.
Since we were like kids, basically.
So because there was so much heat around Vince McMahon, you think of Vince McMahon, you're going to think of wrestling. You're going to think of the WWE. A lot of sponsors were pausing their relationships with the WWE to where TKO literally said, yeah, he's out. He's no longer a part of TKO or WWE in general. The Rock comes in. Cody has yet to make his announcement on his Royal Rumble. Like, since he won the Rumble, he can face either Rollins or Roman. You got Rollins begging for him to choose to fight him. And then you got Roman saying, look, if you want to dance again, we can dance again. I already know how this movie is going to end. But I have a feeling around this time that Roman was going to drop the belt so he can go off time, which is something that we talked about last episode.
Yes, we did.
But then Cody starts doing his promo in front of the SmackDown audience, and he says, I want that title, but I'm not going to go after it at WrestleMania. I talked to a council, and I talked to people, and I know somebody that knows you very well, and out came the Brahma Bull, The Rock. A lot of people are saying the reason why they brought him on board is just to get the scandal out of the way. That way, not much light is going to be on Vince McMahon and that name. But a lot of people are mad because you're taking away the top spot from the top guy.
And if you think about it, that got one of the most disliked video on YouTube.
It's the most disliked video that WWE has ever published.
Yes.
And you got people booing The Rock now, thinking it's 1996 or 2002/3 whenever he came back as Hollywood Rock, which I wouldn't mind a Hollywood character coming back, but my point being is that you throw a wrench into something that's already fixed, you're going to break it. Now, WWE is scrambling for plans because they already know The Rock is going to headline one night at WrestleMania, which messes up everything. Because if you think about it, you have the Women's Elimination Chamber coming up.
Yes. You got the Men's Elimination Chamber.
And then you got the Royal Rumble winner, two Royal Rumble winners. And they're supposed to face everybody at WrestleMania. Whoever the champion is.
And we see who Bayley's facing.
Yes, that's fine.
Because I felt like Damage Control was going to eventually break up, and I'll be honest. Shout out to Bayley. Actually, it's time that I actually see Bayley back in the main event because I know she's been busy, tutoring those guys of Damage Control, and I just felt like eventually, something was going to happen. So I'll be honest, it was low-key hard for me to pick of who was going to win the Women's Royal Rumble. It could have been anybody, but because I just let it play out, and because I saw Bayley win, I was just like, this does play into something, actually. So that's her match is going to be fine. I believe she's going to take the title.
Yeah, they got that squared away, and that's fine and dandy. That's okay. But my point being is that what's the point of having a Men's Royal Rumble if somebody was going to come in and take the main event spot?
You want to know what I think could possibly happen?
Well, wait, because I'm going to list out some scenarios.
Oh, dang. If it's one that I'm thinking of,
so this
go
is
ahead.
Per Slice Wrestling, which is an insider in the business. The current plans is Roman and The Rock, but because of the hashtag We Want Cody movement, the Yes Movement 2.0, literally, they already know how to maneuver that. Triple H is a very smart man.
Indeed.
And look what he's doing with WWE at the moment. At the time, at this very moment right now, The Rock has more power because he's on the board of directors for TKO. Which honestly, it's
out of H's hands.
Yeah, but I feel like H still has a voice.
Mm-hmm.
And these are your current plans at the moment. One of the plans calls for Roman Reigns versus Cody Rhodes on night 1, and then Roman and The Rock for night 2 of WrestleMania.
Okay, that scenario there, I did keep saying that actually, because I just put it in this way. He should pull a Kurt Angle, but in 2 nights.
Right.
And for wrestling fans to understand of what I'm trying to say, I remember back in 2001, Kurt Angle did pull off a 3-match night at King of the Ring in 2001. He faced Christian in the tournament. He faced Edge in the tournament, although he lost. And then most importantly, he faced Shane McMahon in a street fight. So that's what I mean by Roman should pull a Kurt Angle, only because you can face Cody one night, or you can face Cody one night and then face Rock the next night.
The other scenario that they have is a triple threat match, but it's a long shot because the WWE wants a singles match between Roman and The Rock. And they've been winning that since 2020.
That really is like the dead match for me to not have. I don't want that to happen, no.
And then there's other plans, or they're talking about specifically Cody Rhodes winning the World Heavyweight Championship and the United States Championship, which I feel like is
what the hell?
Stupid.
What the hell? Did I say that again?
They want Cody to win the World Heavyweight Championship off of Rollins and also get the United States Championship. So kind of like how Seth Rollins was the WWE Champion and Intercontinental Champion.
Can I ask this? What the hell does the United States Championship even have to do with the main event?
And on top of that, that title belongs to Smack.
Yeah.
As it should.
Yeah. As is the Intercontinental title belongs on Raw.
Yes. But my whole point being, oh yeah, turn off your alarm, Corb. My whole point being is because The Rock, don't get me wrong, I love The Rock.
And I love The Rock too. He's done a whole lot.
But man, if it ain't broke,
don't fix it.
Wait until next WrestleMania. Why not? That would be perfect.
You can basically do this like your first John Cena match, basically. Build it up over the year. Going into the match, and then boom, let it take off.
I really don't understand like how they could do all this stuff, man. And especially because everything is going good. Even whenever the injuries were happening, there were slight, hiccups.
But they found a way around it.
Yes,
I mean, look at the way
the way that they found it, it worked out perfectly.
And I mean, look at the way that they did the CM Punk injury, which I had a feeling I was like, okay, I know what this.
Oh, they're making a documentary about his comeback.
I can't wait.
Through his injury,
I can't wait.
His injuries and stuff.
Once again, I can't wait because I've always wanted to see actual, CM Punk by himself talking about this whole, like they did that Kurt Angle. And
so as of right now, The Rock and Roman is set to take place on WrestleMania Night 2, and it will headline it.
Because I'll be honest, the first thing I thought they was going to probably do a match at Elimination Chamber, in which, they get it out the way. And so, at the same time, I'll be honest, that really was a messed up idea for me to think about that, because I just feel like that just kills WrestleMania, indeed, because we don't want to see The Rock at just Elimination Chamber. So, but keep going.
Yeah, so basically with The Rock and Roman, they want to have a head of the table tribal chief title, like that type of match. That way, Roman still keeps his belt, if that's gonna happen.
These are all just speculations, guys.
No, these are actual current plans.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying these are like. Oh, that was a current. Oh, okay.
Those are current plans, and these are ideas.
That's what I'm saying.
This story was dropped 2 hours ago.
Mm-hmm.
WWE is shocked by fans about the "We Want Cody" movement, and WWE officials plans to turn this into another "Yes" movement. I mean, we already see it happening.
Yeah, we already see it happening, indeed.
I don't know, man.
I feel like
ever since Friday Night SmackDown last week, everything's just been turned upside down. The Rock literally turned it upside down.
I mean, it was already good when he came back with, hitting the promo on Jinder Mahal and all that, and then leading into like where he's gonna go get some food and just want to sit at the head of the table. Which that part right there, I was fine with when he said that. But then when Cody brought him out, I was just like, okay, what the hell just happened? Because I feel like with this possible rematch between Cody and Roman, I feel like this is your version of The Rock and John Cena.
Yeah, they're trying to make Cody the next John Cena, poster boy and everything. Which honestly, I'm all in for.
And this is personally like, and only this time the title is involved in both years. It's not like a personal of who's better than who. This is really like a storyline in which you achieve something in which your pops didn't get to achieve back in his day. So The story has to be finished.
There's so many scenarios you can go about this organically. But honestly, this is my fantasy. And this is how I think. Who on the main roster right now is next to hold a major championship?
I got one.
Who?
Gunther!
Okay, you're reading my mind. Have him participate in the Elimination Chamber.
Yes.
Right? That's option number one. That's your winner right there. Let him go after the World Heavyweight Championship, and then he'll drop the IC Championship, the Raw after Mania or whatever.
No. Oh, by the way, main event Jey Uso,
Let him get.
That's what I'm saying.
Yes.
I won't mind.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Either before Mania or after.
Let Jey get it at Mania.
Okay.
Let him get it at Mania.
So you want Gunther fighting 2 matches then? You see the conflict?
We can pull Kurt Angles all night. Yeah.
That's one scenario.
Yeah.
Number 2, who's a very big heel right now on Raw that's making his presence known at the moment?
Outside of Logan Paul?
Logan's on SmackDown.
I know, but you said big time heel.
Who's becoming, a big time heel at the moment?
Drew McIntyre.
Thank you. That's okay. Have him go up against Rollins. If you really want to keep Drew McIntyre, you'd put a belt on him and he'll sign his contract extension. You need somebody like that can elevate the title more.
Because you can allow Seth can actually go take a break and actually take time to heal.
Yes. So have Drew win the Elimination Chamber. Let the Intercontinental Championship reach more days. All he's doing is letting it ride, and he can catch the World Heavyweight Championship by winner.
And by the way, one other thing,
because eventually he has to drop the Intercontinental Championship.
Yeah, because I really want to see Gunther, get his main event title shot eventually, because I feel like he's really held the I'll be honest, has held the Intercontinental title up to greater standards. I mean, there's been great Intercontinental champions, including Chris Jericho, Kurt Angle, although it was low key on a short reign. Edge, all those guys. Gunther has really held this company hostage in a good sense.
The mid card, at least.
Yeah, and it's the workhorse. That's the workhorse title.
Yeah, and so now my point being is you gotta have somebody that can help elevate the World Heavyweight Championship. Bring it back to what it used to be back in whenever we were growing up.
Basically.
So either you let Gunther have 2 titles, or he drops one the night of Mania or Raw before. Doesn't matter. I feel like if he wins the Elimination Chamber, he needs to drop the Intercontinental Championship right then and there. That way he can have a proper moment at WrestleMania. Because I don't want somebody holding 2 titles, one mid card and one major.
Although it's always good, but those reigns never last that long like that with double titles.
They don't. They literally defeat the purpose of having a title. You know what I mean? What's the point of having the Intercontinental Championship if you're just gonna put it on somebody that already has the World Heavyweight Championship?
I mean, hell, remember that year in 2002 when Triple H was holding the World Heavyweight Championship, and then Kane won the Intercontinental title, but then he won it was a winner take all match and No Mercy in 2002. Yes, people were going back in history. This is where it comes into play. The Intercontinental title got banned from WWE for almost a year.
Yeah, and it came back
in 2003.
Yeah,
and was won in a Battle Royal.
Yeah,
by Christian. At Judgment Day. So, but here's the other scenario that people probably not even still thinking about, but is Damian Priest still Mr. Money in the Bank?
Hang on. He has until June to cash that in.
Yes. And that's my other scenario.
I totally forgot about that scenario.
Yeah.
What if he cashes in at Mania?
Basically pull a Seth Rollins.
Either that or cashes in at
I'd rather if that happened the next night after WrestleMania.
I'm out. What if Rollins retains his belt at Mania? He retains it.
Mm-hmm.
Whoever does the JOB for Rollins, make Rollins look strong as they should, cool. Priest comes in behind, cashes in, and wins the championship. You know how much heat that would get?
Or cash in during the match.
And they'll write off Seth Rollins, that way he can go heel. I'm not opposed to that.
Oh, wait a second. You just hit me with a point. You just hit me with that. So Seth can go heel?
Yes. He's not going to be 100% by the time Mania comes around from his knee. There's no way.
If
he is 100%, he'll be a very close 100%. I took heel
out of the wrong perception, Marco. My bad. I thought as in turn heel, but I understood physically heel, but I was like, That's why I'm not opposed for having a heel champion at the moment. Yeah, you're gonna have 2 heels in the. Because for a moment,
hang on, time out.
Mm-hmm.
It depends on what they do with the Cody and Roman and Rock stuff. Because that's a love triangle that shouldn't even be happening right now. But I mean, hey, we're here.
And then at the same time, if you think about it, if CM Punk didn't get hurt and we still maintain the Seth Rollins and CM Punk
then that's a lock. CM Punk could have won the Elimination Chamber, and then they would have had the main event at Mania.
Yeah, but think about this: Seth turns heel.
For what? He has no reason to.
I'm saying.
That's why you bring in Drew McIntyre for that storyline.
Yeah, but I'm just saying
he wants the belt.
Because I thought we was going to eventually have a heel Rollins. Eventually, that's it.
I don't see it.
But a cool heel Rollins.
But I don't see it. Yeah. He was heel last year, and look what happened.
It didn't. It turned into a whole turn face.
He had to turn face.
Yeah,
he had to.
Which is understanding.
But do you see my vision on?
Yeah,
I
see it. I see it
happen.
Yeah,
it's just you really can't. I don't know. I want to say it, but I don't want to say it. You can't go wrong with neither scenario. The whole downside about what I just said, one of the scenarios that happened, there's going to be more cons than there's going to be pro, but everybody's still going to be happy at the end of the day. People want to see Roman leave without the belt. They don't want The Rock to be the champion. That's why you have Cody Rhodes. They want Cody to be the champion. They want Cody to finish the story.
And just go have Family Feud afterwards.
Literally, the best scenario I could see is having the triple threat match at Mania. Everybody's going to be satisfied.
Wow. You took the least liked idea.
The least liked idea is Rock versus Roman. Cody needs to be involved in it some way, somehow, because of how everybody's acting. Literally. Majority of the WWE universe, quote unquote, wants Cody to win. They want him to be in the main event of WrestleMania. They want him to be involved, as he rightfully should. He won the Royal Rumble. He needs to be involved in the main event, and he needs to finish his story. Why make him point out to Roman Reigns after the Rumble? What's the purpose?
We want to see this rematch.
And now that he said on SmackDown that I don't want your belt at Mania, what the hell?
That threw me off.
So you see what I'm saying?
That really did throw me off. And besides, remember when Triple H and Stephanie were, running the company and stuff, and they was pinning against Daniel Bryan at that case and scenario. Daniel Bryan wrestled 2 matches in one night. Beat Triple H to be in the triple threat match between, Batista. Matter of fact, that makes sense. When Batista won the Royal Rumble, was supposed to face Randy Orton that year. But Daniel Bryan was gaining so much momentum.
Bryan should have won the Royal Rumble that year.
That's the point. He should have won the Royal. And besides, people didn't even want Roman to win that Royal. No, wait. Yeah. Nobody didn't even want Roman to win.
No, that was Batista.
Yeah,
nobody wanted Batista.
Yeah, I know, but nobody didn't either want, I think, Roman nor Batista win that match that year. People wanted Daniel Bryan to win that match.
They were starting to get Roman, that's whenever they're starting to
early,
him up. Yeah.
Early, yeah.
But everybody wanted Daniel Bryan to win, but they knew he wasn't going to win. I have a headache just thinking about all this now. But my point being is that what is the point of having the men's Royal Rumble match if the winner of it isn't going to go for the belt that he had already said he was going to go after, literally, after the show? If this was going to be the case, then The Rock should have been in the Rumble and he should have won it if they really wanted that. And he almost did. He almost did enter the Royal Rumble. He was backstage at the Rumble.
And besides, he was backstage. Yes, he was backstage at the Rumble. And besides, we ain't seen The Rock really win the Royal Rumble, since 2000. And we already know how that scenario turned out, in which it was really supposed to be Triple H versus The Rock. Instead, they made it a fatal 4-way where you bring in the Big Show, you bring in Mick Foley at that point, and you actually determine the winner, and we see how that all turned out. So this is like one of those type of scenarios.
What I'm saying why break something if it doesn't need to be fixed?
In other words, I'll just say it like this: stick to the plan.
I understand you're gonna want you want Mania to be the biggest money grabber deal for your company. I get it 100%. They want to make more money with The Rock's name on it, not only because he's part of TKO, but it literally is.
Yeah,
it's
The Rock. It's The Rock.
But later time, yes. Right now,
no. Because I do not want this main event to go into a spoiler. It's already bad enough CM Punk is not in the scenario. It's already bad enough.
I don't want Cody Rhodes to get the World Heavyweight Championship.
Oh, hell no, I don't.
I don't. Give it to either Gunther or Drew McIntyre.
I'll be fine. With that.
Personally, I'd give it to Drew McIntyre, and then I would
let Gunther come after it.
Yes.
Afterwards.
Yes.
Or if Damian Priest is still around, let him cash in probably the next night, or bring heat during Mania.
I don't know, dude. There's so much that can happen, and there's so many scenarios. We don't know what's gonna happen.
We're just giving our perspectives.
But it all started with Seth Rollins' knee. That's what messed everything up.
Yeah.
It started with Rollins' knee, and then Punk tearing his triceps.
Now this with The Rock insert.
Oh my, it's a mess. I know creative and all the producers are scratching their heads right now, but The Rock has more power than Triple H because he's
basically
a board member. He's a director.
Yeah.
So that's kind of scary because you saw what The Rock did. He brought up his daughter.
Yeah.
And now his daughter's the manager of NXT.
Yeah, and now you see that she's also been getting threats. She's actually been getting threats.
Yeah, she deactivated her X account.
Yeah, she's been getting threats, over something that she really has nothing to do with. Oh God, man.
Goodness.
Life in wrestling is taking a twist of turn.
How about AEW? Yeah, AEW was already bad to begin with. I mean, hell,
we see how that happened once Cody left.
I mean, nobody likes the Bucks. The Bucks aren't getting a big pop as they used to.
Yeah, they really not.
I feel like Samoa Joe could really do something.
Samoa Joe actually was doing well.
He's
the champion now. Yeah, and he was actually, having a real good, good coast of a run.
Swerve Strickland and Samoa Joe. I'd watch that.
Mm-hmm.
I'd watch that. I think that's gonna happen at Revolution, maybe, which is like their version of Mania, apparently.
I haven't heard nothing about the Acclaimed lately.
I mean, that's my point. AEW they were hot, but now they're cooled off.
Yep.
I mean, think about it. You don't have Kenny Omega at the moment. He's dealing with health issues.
Yeah.
The Bucks, they're trying to find their spark again. Swerve Strickland is literally carrying, I feel like, at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
Are you watching AEW Collision? Let's be 100% honest. Are you watching Collision? Are you going to sit down on a Saturday night and be like, boy, I want to watch me some AEW Collision?
I know I'm not going to be too excited. Because I kept saying...
I mean, you know the reason why they made Collision, right?
What's the real reason why?
For CM Punk. That was his show.
Right.
But, yeah.
Now it's all came back to me, yeah.
You have a main event on Raw, or a main event caliber type people on Raw, right?
Mm-hmm.
In Cody Rhodes and CM Punk. That should have been a main event on AEW. Think about it. That is a big slap in the face to Tony Khan and all them people up there. I'm not knocking AEW.
That's like your personal ECW rivalry between Rob Van Dam and Jerry Lynn.
I don't know. My point being is that there's a lot going on in wrestling at the moment. Yes, we're gonna be witnesses to the Yes Movement 2.0. I get it. Raw's coming to Houston March 11th. I'm going. I will be there.
Oh, did you say March 11th?
That's on a Monday.
I'll probably use my PTO time for that just to go see that show.
Cause I looked at the calendar and it's 3 weeks away from Mania.
Jesus.
So that Raw's gonna be.
You know what?
Something is gonna happen on that Raw that's gonna
lead into Mania.
Yes, especially if it's 3 weeks away.
And I hope it's the right thing.
That's what makes me nervous. That's what I don't know. Oh my.
You know what? Once we're done with this, I am definitely
Please talk. I gotta collect my thoughts.
I promise to God, like leading into that show, I am definitely going to go with you to witness this, because I'm actually on the edge of my seat too, depending on what this situation, how the outcome of this situation turns out, because I need this situation to go right instead of wrong. I basically need to hit the highest of highs and not the lowest of lows going into Mania.
And then on top of that, you got the women's championship match. Look, Bayley's gonna win the match.
Bayley's gonna win the match.
Then it's gonna be Rhea Ripley and Becky Lynch at Mania.
Yeah,
Becky Lynch is gonna win
Becky's
the Elimination
Chamber. Yes. Right now, we just got to get Nia Jax out the way at Elimination.
That's why they're gonna knock her out at Elimination Chamber.
Mm-hmm.
Rhea's gonna retain because it's in her home country, and dude,
you can't mess that up.
Literally, as over as she is,
as a heel too, the cool heel, really.
There's a press conference happening this Thursday. The WrestleMania press conference live in Vegas.
Don't you think it's kind of funny that they're bringing back the press conferences and stuff like that, like they did back in the 90s and stuff?
Yeah.
That's kind of cool.
The Rock's going to be there. Roman's going to be there. Cody's going to be there.
Seth's going to be there.
And apparently that Thursday, that's whenever Cody's going to announce his
decision.
Yes. Because it sounded like on Monday, he didn't even know who he was going to go after.
Once again, he threw me off with that promo saying, I'm not going to pursue that title at WrestleMania. I'm like, what?
it makes zero sense. What is the point of having a men's Royal Rumble, or let alone having somebody win the Royal Rumble and not even being the main event of Mania?
You ever thought of it like this? You ever thought that, you know how they always do those, do those holds on, decisions where there's always seems to be a twist in the plot? What if Cody is really like playing off that twist in the plot as if he don't know who to really face? It really plays into the storyline in a sense.
Okay, so how would the storyline play out then if that's going to be the case?
What if he makes his decision after the Elimination Chamber?
He's not. He's going to make his decision on Thursday. They already said he was.
Okay. Because that was my original thought. What if he, during the Elimination Chamber, he finally, makes his decision? That's all I was thinking.
I don't know.
God, this is gonna be a total headache leading into WrestleMania. Really.
I'm glad I'm talking about all this because I was holding all this in and I didn't think nothing much of it. But talking out loud, dude, like...
It just makes more sense because I'm just like, with everything that's going on...
You don't want to make the company look bad, first of all. You don't want to make it look stupid. All these past years, it's been stupid because of how the booking has went. You finally get something right, and it's finally going.
Triple H finally takes control of the whole thing.
As he should.
Yes.
And now look what's happening. You throw somebody in there who was appointed board of directors. God knows why he was appointed at board of directors. The Rock, obviously. Don't know why you want him as board of directors because he's going to just use his politics to get his way. He's going to be on TV. He's going to be in the main event. He's going to get all this money and all this other stuff. The only reason why he's doing all this is because all his past projects have failed. The last movie he was in for DC, what did that do?
Black Adam?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That didn't really get the pop.
The XFL thing?
Yeah.
He had to merge it with the USFL. Mm-hmm. And look, now they have the United Football League, the UFL.
Yeah.
How's that going right now?
That's almost like when the Astros let Jeff Bagwell take the reins, and then we see how that turned out with all that money we gave Montero.
And then another thing, he has his I think he has one more project that failed as well behind that. Either way, he's just trying to get his name back up there. Which, Rock, I love you, man, and I love what you did in my childhood and all this other stuff, but
my God, as an executive, it's not going the way that you expect it to be. Just like do the right thing.
I don't know. I really don't. I don't know what to. I've thought about scenarios. I'm very curious to see what Jim Cornette has to say about all this. I love Jim Cornette.
I love Jim Cornette too. I think he's a very good like talent relation and plus storyteller in scenarios, but this man is really literally lopsided right now over this.
The bright side is they have a little bit of time because they got about 2 months.
But at the same time, that 2 months can go by quick. So you got a small window.
Very, very small window. I really do not know. I feel like we're really worried about it.
I know I am for sure because everything was going good. It's like until I heard Seth had re-injured his knee once again. Don't get me wrong, injuries happen, y'all, but at the same time, because it happened to Seth, I was just like, oh God. I was thinking to myself, can it not get any worse than this? And then CM Punk gets hurt. I was like, here we go. And now The Rock is, then The Rock gets appointed TKO as part of board of directors, and I'm thinking to myself, okay, I don't really like where this is going. Raw comes to Houston in March
11th.
We're going to that show. For sure. Hell, we can bring the boys. I really want to see where this goes. That's it. Marco, you have anything else to say?
I'm just trying to think of possible scenarios, but honestly, these next episodes of Raw and SmackDown are going to be very important. And then on top of that,
it's really best to tune in.
The Elimination Chamber not even.
It'll take a little bit away, but
yeah, it will. But
it's not gonna change. It's not gonna change the whole scenario.
So what would you do? Make Cody enter the Elimination Chamber, put his Royal Rumble main event on the line?
Basically, no. We're not doing another Rey Mysterio situation
from 2006
when Randy Orton cheated him out of that. And no, we're not doing that. No, Cody was already on a hot streak with the way the hard times whole of 2023 was going, basically. Why kill that momentum?
I don't know. Only time will tell. Keep it locked in on Space City Sports Talk because you're hearing our thoughts. We want to hear y'all's as well. We want to listen to y'all, see what y'all have to think. Are you hashtag yes Cody, or we want Cody, or are you hashtag we want Rocky? What do you want? Because both hashtags are pretty relevant, but the we want Cody movement is outweighing the Rocky movement.
Yeah, or hashtag total demolition.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel bad for AEW because they're gonna try to pull stuff out of their rear end in order to make some stuff work. I respect AEW. Don't get me wrong.
I do too. But with the way that the scenario is going on over there, it's like it's like a total dead room over there.
I don't know. TNA might get some
Impact. You mean?
No, they're called TNA.
They finally go back to the original after all these years. Lord have mercy.
Nick Nemeth is there, formerly known as Dolph Ziggler.
Yes. They're back on their back.
Not to mention, you know who might be coming over to WWE from New Japan Pro Wrestling?
Go ahead.
Kazuchika Okada, the Rainmaker. Let me pull up these deals, but your thoughts on Okada?
Okada does bring some spice to the to WWE actually.
Career highlights: 2-time IWGP World Heavyweight Champion, 5-time IWGP Heavyweight Champion, 4-time G1 Climax winner, and 2-time New Japan Cup winner. Here are his current deals. WWE is offering a 3 to 4 year multi-million-dollar contract, which includes numerous bonus incentives. This would force Okada to come move to the United States. That way he can fulfill his schedule, the WWE schedule. AEW is also in the mix. They're offering more money than WWE, but a longer deal.
AEW is always offering money.
But on a longer deal for 4 to 5 years.
Yeah,
it's a multi-million-dollar deal and has similar like incentives with a higher percentage on the merchandise sales. Because you know he's gonna move merch wherever he goes.
Just like,
and also it also comes with a flexible schedule to where he could still live in Japan.
This is like a New York Mets type situation.
So Okada's leaning towards AEW, but because he's appeared on AEW before, they do that Forbidden Door event.
Yes, they did. I did remember him appearing. Yes.
Something was on NXT Vengeance Day. A message. I don't know if you saw it, but it was like, it has something to do with 3 faces. One the people see, one you people at home sees, and one like you personally see. Something like that. But it's a Japanese saying. Could Okada be coming to NXT possibly?
That's
who knows? A lot is gonna happen.
A whole lot is gonna happen for sure. It's gonna be a slobber knocker for sure.
And not to mention Carmelo Hayes turned on Trick Williams.
Yeah, I saw that actually. I was just like, I always knew that was going to happen eventually. You know, that it was just building up. It was
At this point, you gotta have Melo Hayes on the main roster now.
Exactly.
Braun Breaker
making this. Yeah, he's on the main roster now. He's just got to make his decision between
Jade Cargill.
Oh my lord,
I think she might end up on SmackDown.
Yeah, the blue just gives it away. To be honest with you, I ain't gonna lie to you. Whole lot of talent ready to come up. Really, that's all I gotta say. Besides, speaking of Jade Cargill, actually, for people that actually don't know, she's actually married to former Cincinnati Reds second baseman Brandon Phillips. A whole lot of stuff Marco has to plan out in the right fashion.
This is what was dropped on NXT.
Go ahead.
The video package starts as man has 3 faces. Okay? One the world sees, right? One his family sees. And the real one that no one sees, but reflects the evil he truly possesses.
That's a real teaser. It's a real good teaser, actually, of if Okada could be coming to NXT. Actually, whole lot of buzz, whole lot of questions.
And the Japanese, they say that.
Yeah, they do. They do say that actually. And I'm not just saying that, y'all, because I'm not just saying that just to be saying that. I actually do know, learning, some Japanese culture ways, and especially, watching, martial arts movies and stuff like that. So.
Anything else you want to say about the about pro wrestling podcasts and just pro wrestling in general? And my brain is fried just talking about all this. So if I sound sloppy, I do apologize. But
I'm just in silence, just processing really, because I'm just like, everything's been a mess.
And I said it on the SCST Astros. You just gotta sit back and wait and be patient.
Sit back and be patient.
I'm excited for
the way to go about it.
Yeah, well, this has been the PWP Pro Wrestling Podcast, produced by Space City Sports. I'm Alvarado.
I'm Corben Carter-Dixon.
We'll see y'all on the next episode.
Peace.
Deuces.